Everybody get pumped up.
Okay, I'm doing it.
It's Xbox time!
Woo!
With the XoneBros. Welcome everybody to today's stream. My
Show.
name is today's show.
I mean, we are
It is a
streaming,
stream
but it is
live.
a-
Yeah, if you'd like to ever come watch us, you're more than welcome to. We're over at youtube.com/XoneBros. Come join us. Come hang out. Come have fun. Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. It's another week. It's been a big week.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking all things Halo. We're talking all things Diablo 2. We've experienced them both. It's been a fantastic week. But before we do, Jordan actually has a little community gathering that he'd like to talk about.
Yes.
Can we play some music for this community gathering? It sounded like
we
a
are-
sensitive
I didn't
We
prep
are-
any music. What do you
sensitive
want?
moment
We are
here.
having a gathering.
Something like maybe some Rudy.
That
It's
gathering.
like Chariots of Fire.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. You should have told me this like 2 minutes ago. I could have prepped something. I don't know what's going on.
I shoot by the hips.
Well, I don't want to do any like copyright stuff. So
Okay.
just to
Anyway,
try to-
but no, yeah, we're gonna. It's kind of.
want me to grab an audio jungle? Like
Yeah.
audio. Okay, you know
Audio
what? I'm
jungle.
totally gonna do that. Jordan, keep
This
going.
is Audio Jungle.
the free ones. That's funny. So next week, as some of you may know, the Halo flight is going on. It's
Oh,
this weekend
baby.
and next weekend.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
For all those that have been invited, and I know some people may not have gotten it, and I apologize for that, but don't worry, we'll do more. Next weekend, they're testing Big Team Battle,
Big team.
which is 12v12. So
team.
I will be on next week
Next week,
at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Pacific time.
Pacific time.
And we will be playing for maybe an hour or two. Big Team Battle. Big Team Battle can go 12v12, so we can fit 12 players in our party. I will leave the party open, and whoever wants to jump in will play. And if we have more than 12, maybe we'll split the groups up. And people, it's basically just a place for us to come together as a community and get some teams to play Big Team Battle, because Big Team Battle looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So,
Very
Big Team
nice.
Battle next week. Halo Infinite. If you're invited to the flight. Next Saturday, October 2nd, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time.
10 a.m. Pacific time. There you go. That's exciting.
Do
It's our first community event that we've had in a
Yeah.
little while, everybody. It's very, very exciting. And on that, let's talk Halo. For those of you that are missing or haven't seen any Halo, we did drop some no commentary gameplay just so you could check it out and use it over on our YouTube channel. So make sure you come do that. Also on this, you're going to want to be in our Discord, by the way. If you've not come over to Discord, if you didn't know we had a Discord,
We do.
or you can just youtube.com. You can check us there. We have a link to Discord there. Also on our website, XoneBros.com/Discord. That will get you in the Discord as well. Come join us. Come hang out. We're there almost every day. There was a while with COVID that, we were away, but now we're back. We're back. With that, let's talk Halo. You guys, I didn't have a chance to jump into it. I'm not in the Halo tech test, but both of you are. Let's start with Jordan. What are your thoughts and impressions? What did you experience in the Halo tech test, and then how'd you like it?
So, no, overall, it's good. I played last night when I got the email late last night, and I played the bot stuff. And then I played as much as I could today during the window that they opened. I think they went from like 10 to 2 or something like that, a little bit after 10 to 3 or so. I don't know. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. I enjoy what they have to offer. It's not perfect. There are a few things here and there that need to be tweaked a little bit. But overall, I think it's fun. The gameplay feels smooth. The weapons feel good. It feels like a modern-day Halo 3, and that's what I wanted. And that's what I wanted.
Yeah, very nice.
good.
That is
It
good. That's good to hear.
It's excellent. Now, I mean, like I said, it's not perfect. We did also get a Halo letter this weekend, which Halo's, they're doing a lot of good things, but they always do these great announcements, and then they just kind of give you a little pinch to bring it back to the real world.
What's the pinch? What was the pinch in this letter?
So the pinch this time was, I'll just read it because I have it up. It's about player progression. So during the last flight, a lot of people were asking about progression. What type of player progression are we going to have? So on and so forth. And they said in their letter earlier this week, player progression, and this is just right from their letter. At launch, Halo Infinite will feature one primary progression path for players, which is tied to the seasonal battle pass. The pass includes avenues for both premium and free unlocks and will offer a large array of cosmetic helmets, visors, all that stuff.
Okay.
So the only path for progression at launch is
the paid
Battle Pass.
Yeah, Battle Pass.
And there's a free track and a premium track, which is generally a paid track. This disappoints me a little bit. This is the pinch because why is there no other progression?
When you say no other progression, what do you mean?
Like for the most simplest form of progression, a number in front of your name.
Oh, okay.
Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. I was hoping for more of a
Halo 3 experience.
Well, Halo 3 experience, which is good. I would even settle for a Master Chief Collection progression, how they have the different tiers that have different like background emblems. And then as you get up, you start at like tier 12 and you work your way all the way up to tier 1, and then you can, just something else to progress towards.
So I can speculate why. Did they give any hints or talk about why?
They said that they are looking to add stuff post-launch, and it's those words, those two little words that always get me.
To be fair, though, Jordan, I think maybe their progression emblems and things like that is to be tied to kind of a competitive scene.
Well, they're going to have ranked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's tied to that, but I don't think ranked isn't coming day one, is it?
I don't know when ranked is coming. I would assume it would come like 2 to 3 weeks afterwards.
Correct. Usually they delay that just so people can understand the weapons, can figure
we
maps
do know
out.
there is going to be ranked, though.
Correct. So, I mean, what if the emblems are basically just ranked to show off?
Because ranked is a different feature or a different progression. There's ranked progression, which you'll get your emblems in, but I'm just talking about like a general multiplayer progression, like the Master Chief Collection has.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
The number that I'm almost doubled against you?
That's in Halo 5.
Oh, yeah. That's correct. I just wanted to, I'm not meaning to throw that out there.
No, in Master Chief, I'm higher than you. So.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. But anyway, it's not a deal breaker for me, but it's little stuff like this and those two words post-launch that make me think, what have you been doing for 6 years? And yes, people can get mad at me. I know they had development issues. I know they built a new engine for the game. I know there's been a lot of change in personnel, and I get that, and that happens. But it's more to add to the no campaign co-op, the no forge, you know what I mean, all the other stuff. It just keeps adding up, right? Don't get me wrong, I'm still very excited for the game. I really enjoyed the multiplayer, and we'll talk about what we enjoyed. But I feel like every letter that they come out with, it's we're gonna add that post-launch. You know what I mean? And this is what gets me about these live service games. You know what I mean? Are we getting a complete experience at launch? I tend to believe I think we are, but it's just you hear these things and then you start to think, Halo 5 didn't launch with this stuff. Are we going to have another one of those, or is it going to be very bare bones when it comes out? It's just in the back of my head.
You're a Burn Dex lover.
Yeah, I'm not.
You don't want to experience that again.
I'm not necessarily worried. When you hear those things, it's like, you think in the back of your head, you know what I mean? And for all the good steps they've taken forward, I'd hate to see the game not do well the first couple months because of stuff they had to hold back.
Yeah, I'd like to offer some pushback a little bit right here.
All right.
I think that one of the things that may be happening here and why it's not releasing at launch with these extra features is this is the first time that they've gone free to play. And this is the first time it's open in an open online way. And with that, I'm not sure that you want to make sure that these things aren't like these other progressions are working in congruency or like in relation to this infinite multiplayer with these seasonal battle passes. How are we going to work these? Do we reset these every season? Do we not reset these every season? How did it work with Halo 5? Is that same functionality, or Halo 4 or Halo 3? Is that same functionality possible in this free-to-play mode? How many players are we expecting? How does this work with incentivization, stuff like that? So I think that it being the first time they're free to play in this Fortnite-like model probably has a lot to do with it.
No, it probably does. But this is also the longest developed Halo game ever. You know what I mean? And we're cutting a lot of core Halo features. Like I said, it's not a deal breaker. It's just it pops up in the back of my mind every time I hear that post-launch.
Yeah,
those two words.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But overall, your experience, what letter grade would you give it?
I'd give it a solid B+. I'd think
Oh,
for
you
a
had
minute.
to
No.
think there.
Yeah, no, I'd give it a solid B+. Mostly because I was I mean, it's not perfect. Some of those so I got it on the PC. Mark got it on the Xbox, so we can tell you the difference between the two. On the PC, I did the first like 5 or 6 matchmaking games I had. So we're talking pure PvP, not bots. Were perfect, flawless, almost. I would say. After that, the servers started to cut. You could tell, that there was more lag. It seemed like towards the end of the day, I was getting more lag. Now I know I'm not knocking the game for that. That is the purpose of these tech tests, right?
Sure.
That's what you're testing for them. But no, overall, I would give it a B+. I think it's just shy of greatness. You know what I mean? This could, I think B-Boy Will said it, this might be my favorite Halo game. It's shaping up to be.
Okay.
I mean, if they continue to make these improvements and this game launches solid with no network issues like Master Chief Collection or, I
hope
think,
so.
yeah. I think this could be the best Halo multiplayer.
That's exciting. Let's get to Mr. McSpicy's thoughts. Before we do, guys, we did leave a poll in chat right now. What grade would you give the Halo Infinite multiplayer experience? Only vote if you've played the tech test. We want to know A, B, C, or D. Leave your vote now. To tell you what, if you're listening to or watching this after the fact, leave a comment below. What grade would you give the Halo Infinite tech test if you've played it? A, B, C, D, or D? Let us know. Spicy, what is your experience with it? Do you agree with Jordan? Not agree with Jordan? Is this shaping up to be potentially your favorite Halo?
I think Jordan's grade is actually really fair. I think it's a B+ is a passing grade.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's room to improve.
I graduated from college with less.
People get into college for that. People get scholarships on that.
It's there's room to improve, and it's still fun. And some of the new weapons I tried out were really fun. There are issues. I had some menu glitching, some weird things going on that hopefully will be, I'm sure they'll be patched and fixed. And the whole point of a tech test is to test the tech.
Test the tech, baby.
Yeah.
Test the tech.
I think I'm okay with the B+. I really enjoyed it. It had that original Halo vibe and feel, which you haven't really received. You haven't gotten it too much. I mean, even like I was talking to Jordan about this while we were playing. I really like that there's no boost strafing. That was
like in Halo 5.
In Halo 5, there's that boost strafing. It makes it so if you are caught out of position, you're punished for it pretty hard. So you have to not be slack at all in all your positioning. Positioning is really, really important in a longer, time to kill game like this. With the overshields recharging, things like that. That's one of the unique things about Halo is how it's cat and mouse. They see you, they pop a shot, you hide behind a wall, you can recharge, be full health again. Warzone kind of gets that with their plates a little bit, as long as you have plates and stuff. So there is some aspects in other games, but there's nothing like this game out there. I think, in my opinion, as far as like the Halo IP, the Halo franchise, it has its own feel. There's a lot of nostalgia involved, which I'm hoping that it doesn't influence my grade too much, because I really, really like Halo. It was one of the first games that ever got me into just the awesomeness that multiplayer can be potentially. And I think Halo Combat Evolved put us all in a room together, with several TVs, 16 people playing on a LAN party. And then Halo 2, it's the same feeling, but they added Xbox Live to it. And Halo 3 kind of perfected all of the previous 2 games. And that's the kind of feel that I'm getting from this game, just that classic Halo feel, which... for those that never experienced it, because I know we're old-timers. We're getting to be old-timers. It's a really fun thing to experience. It really is. The things that I would say that need improvement. Let me finish with things that are good. And
then we'll tear it apart.
And then we'll dive into it. I really like that the game's mapping system is as deep as it is.
Oh, their options are phenomenal for both keyboard and mouse and controller players.
Yeah.
Really great.
They're giving us things that console players haven't really had before, like
FOV.
Yep, correct. FOV is you can crank that up to 120, which I would say is besides having a precision instrument like a mouse, is the biggest advantage that PC players have over console players, because they can just see more.
Yeah.
They can just see more where people are. And I think that is really cool that they give us that. There's a lot of options. I'm a button mapper kind of guy.
Yeah.
Because I like to customize things. I mean, I think it's just old habits. I play the claw. And I don't like to take my thumbs off the joysticks. They have a ping system that in order to ping, it's got to go up on the D-pad, I believe is the ping button, which takes my thumbs off the joysticks. You can salvage that a little bit with having a Elite controller with the bottom buttons, which I do on Apex. I remap those to the pings and stuff with that. But the fact that they give me an extensive mapping system, pretty much anything and everything you can remap within the game, not within the controller app that consoles have, because games hardly ever give us these options. I really, really appreciate it. It's almost up there to Overwatch customization, which I think is one of the best customization games as far as button mapping and individual like in Overwatch, you can go into individual heroes, change certain things, etc.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Oh, okay. So I really, really like that. Now, the things that I think is odd. We'll just say it's odd. I don't know if it's an issue, but I'm going to talk about the aim assist for a little bit. Aim assist is a necessary evil for console players, or I guess not necessarily console players anymore, players that use the controller, because there's a dead zone on the controller. I've explained this before. I know a lot of streamers and stuff hate aim assist, but without it, it's really, really difficult to play a shooter because of the dead zone on the joystick. You can't do finite precision fixes to your aiming.
Sure. Can't be surgical.
And the reason that exists is because if you had no dead zone, then you're
always fighting.
It's like always going jibber jabber, moving around. So there has to be a dead zone. And I like to use an example for PC players that complain about, aim assist, going up against aim assist and everything. If you were to take your mouse and you were to put an inch radius around the mouse that wherever you move the mouse, nothing happened, you won't be able to fine tune your shots, especially long range. It's just impossible. So aim assist exists to kind of fight that. It's a necessary evil. I hate it. I turn it off when I can. In certain games you have to have it. You can't lead a shot, for example, when you're sniping, stuff like that, because it pulls towards the character, the avatar you're looking at, the player, and then you can't lead shots that aren't hit scan.
Yeah.
Makes it really, really annoying, especially when another player runs behind them and goes the other direction, you lose a kill. Things like that. It's a necessary evil, so it's got to be in games. It's frustrating. Now on to this game's aim assist. Me and Jordan we were for like 40 minutes before you came over, David. We were trying to figure it out because it's different than any other aim assist I've seen.
How so?
It's like a happy medium.
It's weird.
Almost.
So I thought there was no aim assist in this game.
And I initially thought that as well.
I thought there was no aim assist. But we saw some clips from streamers where they weren't touching anything and then it was following them. So there is aim assist in there. And with our testing, our scientific testing with me and Jordan for about 40 minutes, we've come to the conclusion that aim assist is initially disabled until you slightly touch the joystick. You don't move it, you lightly touch it. And then it enables, and then it follows them slightly. So originally on Halo.
So it's like dynamic aim assist?
Well, it's weird because on mouse and keyboard it seems to work differently as well. Because I think mouse and keyboard has some type because it's tied to the what was the option we were in?
Acceleration.
It was
acceleration
weird,
and dead zone.
yeah.
So they don't in the settings they don't call it
Aim assist.
aim assist.
Yeah.
What me and Jordan did is to fix the issues we were having is we disabled the acceleration because I think
always disable
even on
acceleration,
PC with a mouse, I hate acceleration. And what acceleration is when you move your mouse left to right, it ramps up in speed. I like to have it at the same speed so I know I can control how fast and my muscle memory remembers without acceleration how left to right how fast things move. But so what we did is we disabled the acceleration. You can take it down to 1, and we were testing 1 should be 1. That means no acceleration, but there is still a little bit, which I think that they should probably make it so you can just disable acceleration altogether. But you do that, and then you turn off their dead zone. They actually have dead zone controls within the game, which is
Pretty
interesting.
I
like
too. Actually.
Yeah, I like that they did that. Turn that all the way to 0, and then the game feels a lot better
on the controller.
A lot on the controller.
controller,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're not talking about mouse and keyboard. A lot better. And so when we did that, the game felt like a traditional controller shooter, a lot more so than before. So,
Which is nice that they give us all those features and the sandbox to test all the features in, which is one really big plus for this game.
Yeah, so you don't have to do it in real time.
we
You
were
get
able to
frustrated.
test it in the bot zone that they have in the game, which was really, really nice. Having to try to do this with
Gameplay.
sweaty
Yeah.
people trying to kill me.
Hardcores.
Yeah, the hardcore guys. That would be really, really difficult.
So let me ask you this. With all these options behind the scenes, doesn't that further go to they're clearly, I think that illustrates what they want this game to be. I think I've said it before with the fact that it's going free to play. I think they're trying to revamp this as the esports game, the competitive shooter. And I think that's having all these options on the backside is just proof positive of that.
Well, yeah. Well, and it opens it up to more players. Like, because some people, like me and Mark, found that's on the controller, that's setting to work for us. But some guy down the street may
Might
want
not.
it completely
Yeah.
different. You know what I mean? And having those options for settings in a game is always good.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Jordan.
I was just gonna say, so because we're watching the video, and there's one feature I actually really like in this game. They do. It's not red versus. It's red versus blue, but it's not red versus blue anymore. So in older Halo games, your armor was completely painted red. In this game, it's an outline. So friendlies have
so
a
you
blue
can have your
outline.
own design.
Friendly enemies have a red outline. Yeah, I believe it's so you can show off your armor, right?
Smart.
Because
Yeah,
armor is
genius. How you get your
armor is a
cosmetics.
customization. Now,
It's like your shield is red.
yeah, and then they do have. I think it helps with the accessibility with like colorblind modes because you can change it to like blue and yellow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Different things. So for colorblind, which is really great. But what I like the outline system. I actually think it works really well. One thing I really like, and this is kind of a small feature that you'll start to notice when you shoot into an enemy. They have their shields because you're a Spartan and that's Halo, but their shield flickers, and then where your bullet hit flickers darker.
Oh, so
You can see like, oh, I shot his elbow.
Shot him
And
in
you
the
can-
shoulder,
And you
yeah.
can kind of make those micro adjustments as needed, like elbow shot and then up. You know what I mean? It's actually a very subtle, very good feature that I enjoy that they added to the game.
Again, proof positive. I think that they're going for this pro.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going for broke here. I think they want this to be the competitive shooter.
Can I?
Let me ask you this.
Go,
though.
yeah, ask me. I'm listening.
Both of you actually. Can they do that? Is that accomplishable with what you guys experienced? Making this the marquee competitive esport professional shooter.
I think they can do it. I think the arena is there.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the old Halo players will come back and enjoy the feel of it because, like I said, it's like a modern. It really is a modern Halo 3.
Okay.
It's what it feels like in its core. I think they can do it. I think they can do it. I think it's there. I do think there's one thing they can do to really bring eyes on it and really bring it popular. And people may disagree with me.
Remember, I know what he's going to say.
Yeah.
Remember, you don't have to play this mode.
Yeah.
You can still stay classic.
I think if you want to bring in I think you're going to bring in a big influx anyway because it's Halo and a lot of people just like the Halo feel. And this feels like Halo. But I think if you want to have that longevity and you want to have
the longevity of games like Warzone, Fortnite, Apex, games that just last years.
Battle Royale. I think they should do it. I really do. It doesn't need to come at launch. You don't need to sacrifice. I mean, let's get the basics down.
That's a controversial statement.
No, it is. And let's get the basics down. I'm not saying you need to have it day one, which is funny because I'm upset that other stuff isn't there day one, right? I'm not saying you need to have this day one. But I think get the basics down, get the fundamentals here, get your core gameplay, and then do it like Call of Duty did. Get modern, because they got Modern Warfare out there. I mean, you don't make a clone copy of Warzone, but
isn't this launching with their Warzone mode?
No. It's basically no. They're not having that Warzone anymore.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't sound like it. We've not heard anything about it.
Oh, okay.
We heard, I think, 2 years ago that they had Warzone 2.0, which is their answer to large-scale combat, and then I think that was probably axed because their focus shifted or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
don't know. When you say it, I understand what you're saying. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure a lot of people, they either agree with you or they're hating you right now.
No, and that's fine. That's
fine.
Or remember, you don't have to play this mode.
Or they're taking my approach. I don't know. I would rather have them focus on just hyper focus and be the best at what Halo traditionally is. And this is going to be your pro mode.
And that's fine. Have the arena. I'm not saying bring this in on day one, but maybe let's say season 3, right? Which is 6 months down the road.
Okay, why do you think that they need that to make this the big competitive?
Because most people, to make it competitive, not necessarily
it's
competitive.
Not competitive. It's to keep the focus on
keep the popularity and the user base strong. Most people play for a month or two. Hardcore. And then fizzle out. The games that keep their community huge are Battle Royale games.
Yeah, so I think we're conflating I agree with you there. I think you're right. But I think what Battle Royale games have done really well is give you the carrot on the stick. I think you can do that.
It's all implemented here already.
Can I also add?
Yeah, but you can do that without having the BR mode. You can have the BR carrot and a stick without having that mode necessarily.
Can I also add that I don't think that there is any game that has ever been made that can do Battle Royale as good as Halo could do it.
The way your sandbox is set up, the weapons you have, the shield system.
Well, in fairness,
the power weapons.
That's the power weapons, yeah. That can come via their Forge mode. I think having Forge mode is what would keep people in a long time with the different, things. Imagine from a streaming perspective. Hey, look at someone Ready Player One just created this crazy mode. Let's just jump in and check it out. And everybody's playing that mode that was created in Forge. Mm-hmm. And that might be a Battle Royale mode.
Maybe.
So I don't I don't know that they need to do it, which is actually a smart move on their part.
There is a difference between there's a difference between the studio making it and the community. How do I word this? There's a
AAA
difference
versus indie.
Yes, kind of. Yeah,
Polish.
I guess, imagine this. Yeah. No Pixel, who do a great job, made the role-playing Grand Theft Auto. Imagine if Rockstar put their resources behind that.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Well, yeah.
I honestly don't think that there is any game that has been more prepped to succeed than the Halo IP. Mm-hmm. I think the game itself is meant to go Battle Royale. We have not seen the possibilities that Halo could bring to that genre.
Mm-hmm. Explain dive deeper there. Why is it built for Battle Royale?
Well, let me give you the 30-second opening.
Okay, give me the 10,000-foot pitch.
Yeah.
Here.
So we start out with a cloud scene like Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Okay.
But instead of an airplane, you just have pelicans. The music kicks in. Maybe maybe you see maybe you see some warthogs drop. I don't know. It gets crazy.
Yeah.
And then all the Spartans jump out and do crazy stuff. No, I think Halo, because of the way it's set up with the sandbox for one, the weapons they have, because another thing I like about this game is every weapon in this game seems to fulfill a role and a purpose.
Oh, can I bring this up?
Which again ties into. Go ahead.
No, sorry to.
No.
It's on the
role
same
and a
subject.
purpose, which ties into Battle Royale.
Yeah.
So Jordan was talking about this a couple days ago, and I had a theory about this.
Ooh, okay.
We were talking about the weapons that they have in the game. They removed the carbine. And Jordan told me they did it because of redundancy. The carbine is a single fire semi-auto gun, basically, for medium to long range. And they said we removed it for redundancy. And I thought, redundancy? That tells me they want limited weapons available for PvP, which makes it sound like if it's a redundancy thing, that could be on the line for a battle royale, because you look at games like Apex, each weapon fulfill a very specific role. There's no real duplicates.
Yeah.
And to make a clean battle royale, you want good weapons, you want bad weapons, you don't want the same weapons a million times.
So,
in my opinion,
going to your question though, saying why does this fit into a battle royale? Just imagine. So the gameplay we played today, right? I think the time to kill is perfect, right? Because I like the shields, I like the health system. I think a few weapons need to be tuned a little bit better. But so imagine this sandbox that you have in a larger scale, 100 Spartans, last one standing, right? The vehicles, right? I mean, someone gets in a Scorpion,
we could call it the Spartan Wars.
Yeah,
like
Spartan
the Clone Wars,
but
with Spartans.
See, and here's the other thing.
Red versus blue.
Here's the sandbox. Someone gets in a Scorpion, there's still a counter to that. It's not going to be like if someone got into a tank in Battlefield, or you know what I mean? Like there's a good counter to that, which would be the rocket launcher to the cockpit type, I just think Halo, with the sandbox it has now, and each of these weapons and gadgets and even the equipment.
So when you say Battle
fulfilling
Royale, do you
a
mean that
spec-
the area closes for people like that whole mechanic as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to use gas or anything or fire. You can use whatever you get
You
creative.
know what you do? You use the Covenant glassing a planet.
Yeah.
That's what I think you do. I'm serious. The lore, the setting, everything about this game, I don't think there's any game that can do it better.
Well, I think you're probably right there. I think my hesitancy is when I
get what
I just think I'm not I think you're taking a risk there in becoming diluted. And I think if you're going for instance, one thing that the battle royales do really well that are battle royales is they're just battle royales.
No, not Warzone.
Warzone is the exception.
Well, see, Warzone's the exception because
they went
you
for
have
it.
a game to play up until about 3 months later,
Yeah.
and then you're bored of it. But Warzone keeps that game going.
Yeah, but you can. But I feel like you can do that in Halo with seasons and with different carrots on sticks.
I don't think so.
You
Not
can-
as strong as a battle royale.
You can do it. Yeah, you can do it with.
But you
like,
have Forge mode. I think Forge mode is going to be that hook as well. Someone's going to create something really cool.
I still think
and everybody's going to stream it, and it'll be the next big thing.
Yeah, but I still think there's a difference between Forge mode and then the developer implementing it to the game.
Yeah. Well, and supposedly, Boy Will says supposedly Halo Infinite Datamine suggests Battle Royale mode is coming.
Well, and look,
To be fair, I think Halo is the perfect game for battle royale.
look, and look, I get I get what you're saying. Like if they focus on a battle royale, it'll take away from the multiplayer. Which that's what I'm saying. Let's get through these flights. Let's launch the game. Let's make sure the core mechanics are solid, and then let's release a battle royale later.
November of next year.
I'm not saying we have to
battle
have it right
royale,
away, but
the game is regenerated. Everybody goes.
Okay,
at a
certain
certain point, because of the nature of arena style games, you're gonna essentially perfect it to where it's the best it can get.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Once we get to that point, which the goal is to get to that point as soon as possible, because then everything's balanced.
Yeah,
as
and
best it could be,
I guess
right?
then you have your competitive mode that is still super huge, and you have all this money behind a competitive scene and a tournament scene, and then you have the casual battle royale mode that you play on the outside.
Yeah. I just think with the Halo sandbox, especially this Halo Infinite sandbox, Battle Royale would be awesome.
I agree.
And I actually think that with most Halo sandboxes, but I think it's. But I get like,
well, you guys might be right.
A hardcore Halo fan is like, no, don't mess with my game. Don't do this. Don't do. I get the hesitancy because you don't want it to take away from the multiplayer. And yes, when you do add more game modes, it does split your community amongst those game modes. But I just think with the way it's free to play, with what they have and what they're going for, I think this is the best time to implement it.
Okay, let me rephrase my hesitation here.
Okay.
Because
Jordan, I think you have a compelling argument.
I think you both have a compelling argument. I think you both might be right. My hesitation is, it feels like it was the same hesitation with Call of Duty Warzone. It feels like you're not leading, you're copying, but then Warzone comes out and it's like, oh, they are leading. And Halo can do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, that being said, if done correctly, I mean,
If
they
done
can
correctly.
they can take a huge dump on it and it sucks. You know what I mean? There's always that scenario as well.
Yeah.
But if done correctly,
So you guys gave it both a B+. We asked chat what grade they give it, and 66% gave it an A, and 33% gave it a B. If we average that out, it's probably a B+.
Yeah.
Maybe an A-.
you didn't do the plus options.
Yeah, we didn't do pluses there. So there we go. That's the reviews there. Anyways, very exciting. Don't forget, everybody, October 12th October 2nd, next weekend, big team battle community event, XoneBros. Head over to our Discord, connect with Jordan the Man. He's setting it up, 10 a.m. Pacific time.
yeah, to make everything simple, I'm just going to have an open party on Xbox. Just join, and then we'll just
open.
get the team together. And,
Wide
and go in,
open.
And like I said, if we have more than 12, then we'll split up, and people can, go.
Why don't
every
you
which
just
way
go
they
onto
want.
Discord?
So, well, no, because we can fit like 24 players, but big team only allows 12 players at once. So,
oh,
I mean,
okay,
you know,
gotcha.
that's what I'm, but anyway.
So last week we talked about, before we jump into Diablo, because Diablo's actually, wait, before we go over there, I'm sorry for jumping over. I did want to get to T-Buck's question. T-Bucks wrote in, he submitted a question today all about Halo. He says, happy Friday, bros. I was watching a significantly less talented streamer than you guys named Dr. Disrespect.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
He's
Play the Halo Infinite beta
that's
today.
funny.
top.
He says he was playing the Halo Infinite beta today, and it just feels like the same old Halo with higher frame rate and resolution. After watching this, my excitement level from 1 to 10 was a solid meh. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to get my friends together and relive our high school glory days for the nostalgia. However, do you guys think they will add anything new to multiplayer to spice it up or create a new Halo multiplayer experience? Keep up the great work, guys. Battle Royale is your proposition there.
Yeah,
correct?
I know what he's talking about because I actually watched the whole stream too. It was him, Lupo, Z-Laner, and Tim the Tap Man. Those guys were hilarious together. They were funny.
That's the dream team.
Yeah, they were good. They were playing all day, and they dominated. They did really well. And they all, because they talk about it a few times during the stream, and it seemed like the consensus between all of them was, hey, this is fun. And I think even Dr. Disrespect says at one point, he says it feels like Halo, it plays like Halo.
It must be Halo.
But they all have that caveat. But
It sounds like a duck.
they all have this caveat where, and this is where I agree with them in this respect. When this comes out, we're going to play ranked hardcore for a month, and then we're going to be done. And where are we going to go? We're going to go back to Warzone. And they talked about bringing this to a Battle Royale as well. And I agree. I think they should implement a Battle Royale as well. Because the thing about Battle Royale is you can play your ranking games. At a certain point, you're done with your rank. You've reached Diamond League. I mean, you're going to have your hardcore 1%ers that are going to continue to do it all season long. But the thing about Battle Royale, which I think brings people back, is the excitement of every game. You could be that number one winner, which is always an accomplishment. It's never, you know what I mean? I think that's what gives Battle Royale that replayability, and the fact that it's such a big open arena that it's always different.
Well, and I mean, it's like why poker remains one of my favorite games of all time. Every deal, every hand you get dealt is different. Every time you go into a map in a Battle Royale game, you could have 3 aces. You could have nothing. You got to have just a terrible hand because of the weapons you pick up. That's random. Loot is random. Every game is a random game, and it's what you are able to do with that. I mean, every hand's a winner. Every hand's a loser.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the great strengths of Battle Royale as well.
Yeah, no, but they all, because I know exactly what he's talking about, and they talked about it a few times, and as they played more, opinions differed, changed, went up, went down, depending on the match.
Yeah.
But no, they all kind of were at that consensus. Like, it feels like Halo, it feels good, it's fun, but where's that longevity? Is what they kind of asked. Now, that being said, all four of those guys, I mean, minus Dr. Lupo a little bit, but they're all BR guys, right? Like, they're all Battle Royale guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what they enjoy playing. So it's but...
Well, good question. T-Bucks, thank you very much for writing in. That is a good question. Let's move on to Diablo 2, because that's the other big game that dropped. Diablo 2 Resurrected. It's the remake. Is it fair to say a remake? A remastered? It's a remastered. It's not a remake. It's a remastered edition of Diablo 2. This game came out in 1999? 98?
Oh, I read that question wrong. Sorry.
Oh, what was the?
But yes, I'm listening to you now.
I enjoyed it. Thank you. Hey, you just killed the show.
And there goes our momentum.
I'm going home.
Thanks, Jordan.
Sorry.
No, Diablo 2 came out, 98, 99? Whenever. It came out a while ago.
Yeah.
And it's considered the best of the Halo, or the best of the Diablo. Diablo.
Dungeon
Halo,
crawlers, right?
Yeah, dungeon crawlers. The best. You can make that public. It was because it had to. It was
Okay, gotcha.
It's considered the best. So I never played it. My first Diablo was Diablo 3. I jumped in. We got $39.99. Got Diablo 2. There are some things that I really like, and there's something that I'm really missing from Diablo 3. And here is what it is. Since I never played Diablo 2, I don't have the nostalgic factor there. So it doesn't, like, what the game was and what it meant for its time means nothing to me at this point. Similar to what players who never experienced the first Halo, they don't appreciate it as much when in the Master Chief Collection, because it's past its time. It's not necessarily what it is there. And that thing that I'm missing is the modern movement. The movement's just superior in Diablo 3 just because it's a modern game. Having said that, the story, the cutscene is phenomenal. The cutscenes are phenomenal. The difficulty, Diablo 3 is not even close as difficult as Diablo 2. And that actually makes your loot matter, and it also makes your team matter. Like, I couldn't just go off and do my own thing. You're punished pretty hard for going off and doing your own thing, and then you're punished really hard
for dying
and not having good equipment. That is fun, and that's at the core of Diablo 2, and I understand now why Diablo is considered the best. The only thing is, instead of a remastered, I wish it would have been a remake. Keep everything the same, the mechanics the same, but give me the Diablo 3 modern day 2021 movement aspect there. And I think that this game is...
Well, then, but you remove kind of the gameplay mechanics by changing its moveset, don't you?
No, I think the move...
No, it would be easier to aim my shots for ranged characters.
The one thing right now that really... And I'll tell you why this comes up, because... So one of the cool features, and you can do this in Halo Master Chief Collection, you can do this in a lot of games, but is you can go back to the way it originally looked by holding down left trigger and hitting the back button. It takes you back to that original version. I think the fighting actually feels better to me in that original version than it does in the modern day version. And I don't know why. And I'm a barbarian, so it might just be my class. But when I hit someone, I'm always questioning if I hit them, and it's a delayed register.
Can I address that?
Yeah, 1 second. I just want to say this. Sorry, Spicy. It's a delayed register in that when I hit a player, it doesn't register that it's hit until after my animation has gone past the character. Whereas when I switch back to the OG animations, it feels better for whatever reason. Anyway, Spicy, would you like to address that?
Yeah, I would like to address that. So I've played quite a bit of this game last couple days since it's released, because it's like let me be very blatantly honest about this game. This is one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm going to have a very biased opinion about everything about what we talk about going forward. That said, this, I would say, from my playing even in single player and in multiplayer, I think that does not have to do with the game. It's their servers.
Oh, you might be
think
right
so,
there.
yeah.
Correct.
There were server issues.
Yeah.
I'm playing
too.
a single-player game. It happened way too much. I'm shooting guys. I get rubber banded somewhere, and then I'm half health, and they're all dead.
Yeah.
I don't think the animation of hitting them
Has
is
to do with going back
correct.
and forth.
I give it a week or two when everything dials down and Blizzard realizes that this was another one of their popular games that they didn't realize would be popular.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Don't look at pre-order numbers.
You remember Blizzard Classic or WoW,
WoW
Classic?
Classic,
WoW
yeah.
Classic when we were WoW Classic. I had to wake up early,
You had to log in.
so I could play that night. That was terrible. There was like a 15-hour waiting. So this is just another. That's what I think. That's my theory. I have had it work really well, and I've had it more times than not work. And I think there's some weird.
Okay, so I'm
server
not crazy.
latency.
At least I'm not crazy. Like
Correct.
I'm
You are not crazy.
It is this weird delay, and it's not even the fact that it's like this. You can tell its date of release in that it's like the first non-tab targeting experience.
See, we just saw some of it right
Yeah,
there.
right
Did you
there.
see
Yeah, I
that?
did see that,
Whack, whack, whack. His health was full. Then he just disappears. Now my health is half full.
Yeah. So that's definitely lag right there in that.
So that's what I think.
But
What you?
But I
experience.
still think this game remastered and you keep the mechanics because I do see why Diablo 2 is considered better than Diablo 3 because Diablo 3 does not have that limited dangerous feel where your equipment actually matters. In Diablo 3, granted, I'm sure when you get into the higher levels and you're going season in and season out, your equipment eventually matters. But as a casual player, I never felt that my equipment mattered. Whereas with Diablo 2, I quickly learned that my equipment matters.
Yeah, I love difficult games.
And the scarcity of equipment.
Well, and it doesn't hold your hand. Games back then are designed for you to explore and figure it out. You know,
Yeah.
and I think that's half the fun too. You know.
Yeah. So having said that, this being my first experience, I'm really, really liking it. Really, really.
Yeah, we had a good
really, really
we had a
liking
good
it.
team yesterday. It was a lot of fun playing this game.
Jordan, we'll go spicy last since this is his favorite game of all time. Does it hold up to his expectations?
one of my favorite. I
One
would
of his
say
favorite games.
Easily top 5, maybe top 3.
Jordan the Man, how does it hold up for
No,
for you?
it's really good. I would probably, if I were to give it to a letter grade, I would probably give it a B- due to networking issues, and because that is kind of annoying.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, let's say next week you're playing this game, no networking issue. Why in single player is it still connected to your network?
Because they're Blizzard,
It makes no sense.
and that's how.
Because isn't that what crushed Diablo 3 for like a year until they relaunched it?
Yeah.
Well, that was the same day. It wasn't City Skylines. What was the game that came out?
SimCity.
SimCity was the same time period, where it's a single-player game that was broken because they forced you to be online and none of the cities could talk to each other.
Yeah.
It was a really weird year.
It was a weird time.
It's a weird time. It was like
really-
puberty for the gaming industry.
We were
networks.
trying.
Just awkward.
Everyone's confused. Like, it's a single-player game, but I can't play it because I have to log in,
To
and I can't
play it.
because the Blizzard.
I think it was
servers-
error 47 or something like that
Yeah.
for Diablo 3.
Agent 47.
Yeah, but no, it's fun. I like it. It's fun that we can do. I think it's up to 8 players online. It's just it has. I feel like games back then. What was this? We talked about 2000. The chat got it. This game came out in 2000. I feel like games back then, because of the time period, because you couldn't just throw in a patch or throw in, you know what I mean? I feel like games back then had more of an identity behind them.
This definitely, like, what this game has is character that you feel immediately.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. When you play this game, you feel like you're playing
That
a Diablo
I'll be-
game, and you feel like you're fighting the
I'll
forces
be
of
honest,
hell.
which is interesting because So, for instance, I went back. I played a large chunk of this game on the OG look, which is
okay.
completely dated.
Yeah, and
it's still super fun. Like, it doesn't take away. It still has the same feel. So, immersion can enhance, or graphics can enhance your immersion, but it can't replace
That's good, yeah.
what immersion ultimately is, and that is like this identity. I think Jordan nailed it there because Diablo 3. I really like Diablo 3. It was my first Diablo, but it doesn't have the same feel that this one has, and the feel is almost intangible. I can't explain it.
And I'm not saying there's not games that don't have identity nowadays, but I just feel like more games back then.
Well, successful games definitely had to. You couldn't rely on anything else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can give you a couple of examples.
Give me one.
Like Call of Duty. I feel okay, and I'm not bashing on Call of Duty because I do like Call of Duty and I do like Warzone. I feel like Call of Duty has an identity every 5 to 8 years.
But maybe it has an identity crisis.
So Modern Warfare had an identity. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like it felt like, but it was the first drastic change since what year? You know what I mean? Like Vanguard feels like Modern Warfare. It doesn't feel like a new game. It feels like Modern Warfare with laser sights in World War II.
I was going to just say that. I was going to pump that in there.
So we actually got corrected in comments that this is an that they've been very clear that Vanguard is an alternate universe.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I should actually. I'll go grab the comment.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
This is the Captain America.
Yeah. This is
Earth 5 movie.
Okay. Hey, it's an alternate universe.
Just
I
the
was
correct.
just
But let me
saying
grab
it
this
felt
specific
weird,
comment
is all.
because
okay. No, that's good. That is funny. It's alternate.
Yeah.
Just tell them it's alternate.
This is Earth 5.
Yeah.
Earth 5.
Yeah, they don't have transistors in this one either.
Alternate universe where everything is really similar, but because we wanted these features, we had to say it.
We have awesome weapon attachments, but crappy weapons. I don't know how it happened, but that's just the universe you hit.
We can have 10 attachments, but can't build an efficient gun.
Oh man, that's funny.
Anyway, no, and again, I'm not trying to knock on Call of Duty or anything like that, but you kind of get what I'm saying because they do those yearly releases, and a lot of it is recycled. Minus Warzone, I feel like Warzone has an identity, whether that be cheaters or when they fix it and it feels good and fun, right?
Identity is cheaters.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. There's a few weeks there where it was right, but no,
World at War. That was the only Call of Duty I took the disc back to where I bought it.
But no, the reason, like I said, the reason I use Call of Duty is just because those yearly releases, it does feel like a lot of it's recycled. Warzone, I think, is the opposite of that. I do feel like Warzone has its own identity compared to Fortnite and Apex. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and that's what I'm saying. I feel like games back then, because of the nature of technology back then, they had to. Grab your attention. You know what I mean? They had to be out of the box. They had to have their own identity, right? Which I feel like a lot of games lose nowadays because it's so easy just to.
So what do you really like about what is your grade on this game?
I give it I give it a B range, right? I'm still at the beginning. I'll as the story goes on, it might get a higher grade. Because I've heard the story's really good in this one.
That's fantastic.
And it ties in really well to Diablo 1, and you get to see some of your favorite characters like Tyrael. I always get Tyrael and Tyrion.
Yes, yeah.
Lannister
versus Angel. But no, I'm excited. There's a lot of stuff that I like about this game. I love the inventory system. I actually really like the skill tree system, how you have to level up each skill. That skill tree does feel older, but I think it fits. It fits well, and I enjoy it. And I like the multiplayer, and I like that we can go up to 8 players, which is pretty fun.
And every time another player adds, things get more and more difficult.
An angel gets its wings.
Yeah,
yeah. That's why, David, when you go on your own with 4 players playing, it'll be much more difficult.
I'm getting crushed.
But at the same time, it is still very, very difficult. In this playthrough we're watching now, this is my gameplay. Everyone listening, we're watching it on screen while we're talking about it. Things get dicey several times, and it's only because of my veteran nature in this game that I understand how to not die.
Yeah, but no, it's really fun, and I told David before the show, what a weekend, because we got Halo Infinite, which is turning out to be really fun, and then we have Diablo 2 Resurrected, which is turning out to be very fun. It's a good time.
Yeah. Spicy.
Yeah.
Does it hold up? Does it stand up to your memory and your expectations?
So I'm going to go ahead and say yes, but I'm also going to add, once again, I'm going to reiterate, my opinion of this game is completely biased. I have way too much nostalgia for you guys to take anything seriously. From me.
Okay.
I-
But I want to hear that perception.
Yeah, okay.
Because there are some times where, let's be honest, the hardcore fans like yourself, the diehards, the, favorite game, where you could be let down and then just
Yeah.
be pissed.
Warcraft Reforged.
Oh, so let's get into this. It's really good. I am enjoying how people are reacting to this game because it's an old game. It's a 21-year-old game. Think about that. This game is it 21 years old?
I thought it was like 98 when it came out, but Chet corrected us to 2000. I think it was 2000 when. Are you sure? I thought it was the 90s.
Well, because it came out in expansions, and the expansions were freaking amazing. You get Mephisto is a great.
Yeah,
great
because
bad-
Lord of Destruction was the expansion.
Yeah, it's also, I'll add, I don't think I've purchased any game as much as I've purchased this game. Reason being, I was a teenager when I played this, and I kept losing my discs. So I always had to keep going to the store with my hard-earned money as a teenager and rebuy this game every 3 months or so. I don't even know how many times I've purchased this game, but I've purchased it a lot. It's one of the few PC games I still have. I think I have it on the shelf.
Yeah, we had
it
this.
was 2000.
We had this discussion in Discord. Actually, I miss the big box art, the big boxes that PC games would come in with the art. Like the back of a box would get me to buy or not buy a game.
You want? I have the disc somewhere. I could go grab the box. I'll grab it after the show so you can see it. I love it. So, I really, really like that this game is basically untouched. It's all it is it's just prettier, and it's not even pretty to today's standards. It's like it would be a really pretty game about 10 years ago in this new form.
Sure.
The old form, it's really pixelated, but I still really
And
like the
awesome.
old form. And awesome, yeah.
Because it cuts your screen down because they didn't have resolutions back then.
It's really interesting to me that it's still I'm actually liking everyone else's opinions to see how people are reacting to this game.
Sure.
Because it should be a really dated game, but it's still okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. Even the it's not tab targeting, but it has that boxy feel. When
Yeah.
you're up, it's not the smoothness of
And
Diablo.
even
And I have an issue with that, just with the respect that I wish it was more fluid like Diablo 3 is, but it doesn't take away from the game at all.
Yeah. So, going back to my biased opinion of this game, I want to just start talking about things.
And speaking of biased opinions, before you get to sorry, hold on, everyone, leave your biased opinion in chat. We have a poll up right now.
Oh, perfect.
A, B, C, D. Let us know what you think. Diablo 2 only if you've played it. If you're listening to this after the fact, not live, head over to YouTube and leave a comment. What'd you think of Diablo 2? Let us know.
Okay. So, this game did things. Oh, did my voice just crack? This game did things. I'm talking about a teenager.
I mean, it's nostalgia.
This game did things that things just weren't done before. A lot of games took a lot of inspiration from this game. It's one of those games. It's like it's like very specific albums with music artists. It's just influenced a lot of game developers, a lot of things. So it's
like Lord of the Rings is the fantasy.
Yeah. When you play this game, what you are experiencing is the early versions of modern inventory systems and modern, ability screens, modern mana, HP, magic, min-maxing, etc. It's very dated. However, that's why I like this game a lot. It's so much fun to play this in the classical way, the traditional way that these looter, crawler, dungeon type games are meant to be played.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I have a lot to say, and I don't want to just go off on this game, but I really, really enjoyed it. I played both multiplayer, just the standard. I played. You can choose to play pre-expansion, which Jordan, I don't recommend you playing if you're having trouble with inventory already. You can see. Look at the inventory That's the stash on the pre.
Yeah, because when the expansion came out, it added features to the base game, right?
Correct. It added more inventory space. It added a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and I think we all chose our online characters to be post-expansion patch, if you will.
So did you see how much stash room I had on there? It was just like 15 squares. It's like there wasn't a lot of stuff. They even say in the when you're choosing your game modes,
don't do this.
They say if you're not a veteran of Diablo, don't play pre-expansion.
If you'd like to enjoy yourself, don't play this.
Yeah. I really, really like this game. I like that they haven't touched the game much at all, if any. Here's a perfect example, Blizzard. I'm just going to talk to Blizzard. Here's a perfect example of you don't need a mouse to play a game like this. We're watching just the Destiny cursor go over things in your inventory and stuff. And
that's perfectly fine.
It's perfectly fine. It's granted it's not as fast as a mouse, but not a lot of things are. So it's perfectly fine. I'm going through my skill tree. What we're watching right now is I'm going through my skill tree, mousing over essentially different abilities that I'm looking at for my sorcerer that I'm playing. But it's totally okay. I still don't know why we don't have Hearthstone on a console because it's perfectly fine. It's a good way to do it. I like their button mapping system. It's just a simple A, B, Y, right bumper, right trigger. Then if you hold a modifier key, which is the left trigger, you can do different abilities as well. It's simple in nature. It's easy to start playing. It's difficult in the fact that you gotta be careful because you could just get destroyed by some mobs that you don't understand. There are issues as far as with the PC, you could mouse over bad guys and see what their abilities were before you engage them. You could see like if one's a spectral hit, for example, which is really deadly to melee characters. If you don't know it's spectral and then you run up, you could just like be instantly killed. So there's stuff like that. And that's just the nature of, having a dated game and having it the way that it is.
Do you think, and I understand from Blizzard's perspective why they didn't do this. I understand the argument, but do you think, as a veteran of the game who's bought it multiple times, it would have ruined the integrity of the game if Blizzard would have came in and revamped the UI like they did in Diablo 3 to make it more controller friendly? It didn't necessarily change or add things, it just revamped it to make it more friendly for the joystick.
Like having the wheel, I think I think I would have lost nostalgia.
Yeah. Well, and I get why they didn't do it because I think they're trying to replicate as much as possible the original experience.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it would hurt the integrity of the actual game because those are basically just,
It's just a different layout is all.
Well, I know, and it's just helpful things to make the game go more smooth. Mm-hmm. I think I would be okay with it in that aspect, but I like this game untouched the way that it is because, remember, I really love the original game, and I played it I don't even know how many hours I have into this.
Yeah, we do have a question from Rose City Gamer who wrote it, and he says, "Hello, XoneBros.
Hello.
The Diablo 2 remake is out." He says, "I personally never played the original and only briefly dabbled with Diablo 3. He says, I've heard now from a few industry people that after playing Diablo 3, going back to 2 is just not working for them. What's your thoughts? Is the D2 remake enough?" I think I would probably fall into that category of, not of the category of that it's not enough or that it's not working for me. It is working for me. The movement is the most jarring aspect of it. Having said that, it does everything else. And it doesn't take away from the game. It's just something I wish was there from Diablo 3 because that's just the date and the nature of this. Having said that, I would, if you semi-enjoyed Diablo 3, I think you're going to enjoy Diablo 2. It's a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to diving in deep.
Yeah. There's no auction house, so the game isn't broken.
Yeah.
That's a dumb idea.
Yeah. That is,
which makes it's more fun because you earn what you get.
Well, once again, the thing that they need to do to make Diablo 4, as they're working on Diablo 4, which supposedly they're working on, that's not a mobile version.
Bazinga!
To do it, all you have to do, and I know all you have to do is saying it as if it's easy, but if you just took the game mechanics, the inventory mechanics, even I know that we're saying those inventory mechanics are simple, but I think it's those the scarcity, the difficulty, you have to decide what equipment to keep, which not to keep, and your equipment matters, and as well as the dungeons. I told this to Jordan earlier today. The dungeons, for whatever reason, just feel better
in 2.
Yeah. In number 3. Jordan said it correctly. It has an identity. Yeah, in number 3, it was like you jump into a dungeon. They try to wrap this giant story around each dungeon that you're going into, and some guy's down there at someone's basement or whatnot. In number 3, it's just a dungeon. And in number 2, it's just a dungeon. You know what you're there for. They're not trying to hide the fact that you're in a dungeon like Diablo 3 does. The mechanics that way are far superior in Diablo 2. If they took that and they took the modern day controls and movements of Diablo 3 and how controller friendly it was and merged those two, you'd have one of the best games ever.
Yeah. Well, it's all the mechanics like working in conjunction with each other. For example, Diablo 3 has an inventory system too where you're limited, but it's not as difficult in Diablo 3 as it is in this one because you have the limited inventory system, and we're talking post expansion, which is still limited. Post-expansion, limited inventory. The reason it's harder or more, I don't know if you want to call it harder or just has a different feel in Diablo 2 is because you have that limited system and you cannot at any time just travel back to town. You have to use a resource to travel back to town.
Yeah, scrolls.
Which in itself...
Jumping on those scrolls, man.
Which in itself takes up an inventory spot, and it makes it so you have to be like, okay, I only have 10 scrolls and I don't have enough money to buy 10 more. So I got to use them strategically. And also we came across... Now, Diablo 3 got rid of that. They just had a town portal button, which, yes, is convenience. It is more convenience, but it does take away from the inventory management and deciding, okay, do I want to pick this up and use a portal, or do I waste 3 portals coming back and picking all this stuff up? You know, I mean, there's a series of choices that have to be made.
Yeah, you can see why Diablo 3 is not considered as good as Diablo 3 or 2 in these instances. And what it is like in a modern day era, it's like if Tarkov is the original and they make a Tarkov 2 and they say, what if people didn't lose all their equipment when they died? Make it a little bit more easier on people.
A convenience,
right? They get to keep. They only lose their gun. Everything else they keep. Like it would ruin what makes Tarkov so unique and special. And I feel like they did that a little bit with Diablo 3, and I see why Diablo 2 is.
And I mean, there's
superior in that way.
There's an argument to be made for conveniences and not. I mean, it's you know, I guess it comes down to preference. Another thing in Diablo 3, and I actually found this out last night because. What happens is as soon as you use your town portal, it disappears. So what you want to do is if you're in a group, you want to use each other's town portals so they stay there permanently, so you have kind of a waypoint. Diablo 3 fixed this convenience, or fixed it with a convenience where you can just teleport on your friend. You clicked on their flag and you teleport on a friend. Now I asked Mark, I said, "Oh, can I just teleport on you?" And he said no, which... You're like, oh, dang it, I can't do that.
Or then I logged off and just stranded.
Oh, and you're
Mark
like, oh.
back in
Yeah,
time.
I got stranded.
Portal
Thanks, man, because I used your portal.
Yeah. So, and it's just it's a small feature, but it's mechanics that work with each other. Inventory is hard because yes, you can argue that in Diablo 3 you had limited inventory too, but inventory is hard in Diablo 2 because it's also a resource to go back to town. You know?
Yeah, so there you go, Rose City. It's really up to you. It's $39 for the game. If you've never played it, I do think it's worth experiencing it. I never played it, and I'm really liking it. I'm excited to dive in by myself this weekend.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
I kind of, because I'm reading his question again, like there's a few industry people that are, I actually don't know who you're talking about or what they're saying, but I kind of want to try to figure out an analogy to try to explain why I like this game. I think it's like an old vintage car that's, you know, obviously doesn't have the greatest shocks.
Doesn't have the bells and whistles.
You fill it up, it smells like gasoline.
But it's an experience driving.
But there's something nostalgic and something, I don't know if I want to use the word primal, but there's just something... There's something original about experiencing something like that. Like I grew up on an
Something
old
raw.
piece of
Something
crap
raw.
truck. I had a truck growing up that it was an old Mazda B2000. It was a crappy little beater. It was terrible. You didn't even need a key to start it. You could use your fingernail because it had been stolen so many times. But the floorboard was out, like, you know, on Flintstones.
Oh yeah.
And when I would drive, we would carpool to school. I would drive my friends to school, and we're in Utah, and it's, you know, winter months are really slushy, snowy. And whenever we drive over a puddle, I'd have to yell "puddle," and they'd all put their feet on the holes in the bottom so it didn't splash up and hit
Oh,
them.
because there was holes. That's hilarious.
So that car was a piece of crap in a sense, but at the same time, not saying that Diablo 2 is a piece of crap. At the same time, it's one of my most cherished vehicles I've ever owned in my life because I just loved that truck. I loved the smell of it. It smelled like gasoline because it was just it had an Aruga horn. Aruga! It was just a really great vehicle. And I mean, I don't know if that's a great analogy, just experiencing something that is not meant to be polished. And it's meant to be it's just a fun vehicle.
Well,
and this game is just meant to be played and it's meant to be enjoyed. And I think that's one of the reasons it makes it great for me.
No, it's fun.
And I wouldn't call it unpolished. I think it's polished.
No, it
It's
really
just-
is polished,
It's you said it earlier. It's the beginnings of like modern mechanics, and you can agree that modern mechanics help and hinder at the same time, right? I mean, it just depends, but.
Yeah.
Apparently, I've told that story in the podcast before.
Yeah.
I don't remember what stories I tell anymore.
Super Shocker dropped a super chat. Thank you, Super Shocker. He says, "Oh boy, the Mazda truck story again."
I should probably share different stories of that.
Rose
truck.
City Gamer. Hopefully that answers your question. I recommend it. I know Spicy definitely recommends it. Jordan the Man
I do, yeah.
recommends. I think you should jump in and try it out. I'm enjoying it. I really am. As far as the community is concerned, we dropped a poll. What grade do you give Diablo 2 Resurrected? These are only voted on by people who played it. 50% gave it a B, 25% gave it an A, and 25% gave it a C.
Yeah.
There
It's
you
all
go.
passing.
It's all
It's
passing.
all passing.
We've got one more question about Diablo. This is from Psychotic. He writes in and says, "Hey bros, Diablo 2 is a hell of a time." Pun intended.
Hell.
Aside from the infamous Diablo 3 moment, what is your favorite Diablo memory or moment? Thanks for all you do. Time out. If there's a spoiler, since I'm playing Diablo 2, I don't know if I want to hear your favorite moment, so I'm gonna go pee.
Oh, you need to.
Well,
use the rest
I've
of-
not played all the way through Diablo 2 either.
Okay.
Well, Mark's kind of I can probably guess Mark's favorite moment in Diablo 2, and I don't really know about it. He really likes Mephisto.
Yeah, Mephisto's a badass.
And there's a lot of cool scenes with he's one of the prime evils.
Oh. Okay.
Well, let's
Okay, I'm
talk.
gonna go. I'm gonna
yeah,
pee.
you can go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about the bad guys in all the series.
Well,
I think Diablo 2 has the best bad guys because you are dealing with the prime evils,
yeah,
not
'cause
these
there's
lesser.
the prime evils and the lesser evils. There's 3 primes and 4 lessers, something like that.
Yeah, and in Diablo 3, you just take care of the lessers,
Although-
but it's like
Although I will admit, what's his name?
Asmodan?
Asmodan's nipple rings were
Yeah,
pretty prime.
Asmodan's nipple rings were pretty
Those
cool.
were- he was in the running. He was a runner-up for a prime evil.
Yeah, that's true. So I think having to deal, even the just very nature of the Diablo 2 bad guys, because they are known as the prime evils, and then when you go to Diablo 3, you're like, we're fighting against the lesser evils.
Yeah, because in Diablo 3 you fight what is his name? Asmodee
I always
or
call them
something?
Asmodean, but it's
Asmodean.
Asmodan.
Asmodan, Belial, because Baal is the prime evil.
Yeah,
in this
Baal,
one.
Diablo,
Baal,
and
Mephisto,
Mephisto.
and Diablo. Yeah,
Which is, it's actually fun because it's like its own pantheon of like characters, of,
Well,
like lore. I love it.
Diablo. I mean, it's why I kind of like the Darksiders games, because the story of angels and demons fighting, I think, is just a cool story.
Yeah.
Heaven and hell, you know? And that's, if you ever play the Darksiders games, you play as one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and it's demons and angels, and you know what I mean? One of my favorite characters of all time is in Diablo, and that's Tyrael.
Yeah.
Who
Such a badass.
I believe the infamous Diablo 3 moment is Act 1 to 2 cutscene where he's like, he just throws down up in heaven.
It's honestly, that's one of the greatest. We'll we're ignoring that because you specifically mentioned to ignore that Diablo 3 moment. But one of the greatest cutscenes in any video game ever.
Yeah, that one was really good.
When Tyrael decides to leave. We'll just
So
say that.
I don't know if I have because I've played bits and pieces at friends' house growing up who had the Diablo battle chest that came with Lord of Destruction.
I have
you know?
like 5 of them
Yeah,
upstairs.
so I've played it on their computers. I've never sat down and played the game beginning to end myself. Like I said, I've played with friends here and there, just taking turns and stuff. So I'm excited to go through the full story and learn a little bit more about Tyrael.
Yeah. Well, so you don't know what Tyrael's in this game, what he is and what he does and what he decided to do?
I do know who he is because I have played some with my friends.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of is like I know who he is, which is why I know I'm excited to learn more about,
Okay, yeah, he's pretty cool in this game too. He's a really cool guy. No, but so I would say if we're talking about,
I think I know what your scene is. You told me without telling me.
what was it?
You told me one of your favorite moments in Diablo 2 is when Mephisto comes in during a cutscene and does cool stuff to a building.
Yeah, I won't. Another one that I really like that you find out within 10 minutes of this game. Is it 10 minutes? It's probably a good 10 minutes to a half hour. So if you want to play this, I'm going to be talking. It's a mild spoiler, but I think it's okay to listen to what I'm about to say because it's one of the reasons that makes this story great. So in Diablo 1, under, I believe it's Tristan's church, you as a hero go down to the depths under the church because there's this evil down there and you kill the evil, which is Diablo. Now in Diablo 2, so that's a really short game. And one of the questions in chat, I think it was Reactor League, David can verify, I don't have chat in front of me to scroll up, but the question was, should they remaster?
Yeah, should they? Yeah,
Diablo
it is
1?
Reactor League. He says, "Do you think they might attempt to remaster the original Diablo?" To me, he says it makes sense since it's the only one not done now.
So the thing about that game, it's very short. So I don't know. I mean, they could,
but you do got the Butcher.
Yeah.
That one I have played.
Yeah. So you could do that. It's just it's much more of a shorter game. So I don't know how important that would be. There was multiplayer in it, sort of, but not really, but sort of, kind of. I think you had to mod it to, I can't remember. It's been so long since I played that one. But what's cool about this game, Diablo 1 to Diablo 2, is you are the hero in Diablo 1 that saves the town of Tristan, basically. You killed the Diablo, which is one of the prime evils, and everyone, is excited that you killed that hero, or you killed that enemy dark thing underneath the church. The next game is the story is following that hero that is now turning evil. So you're following yourself. I won't give too much away, but you are basically hunting your previous character that you played in the game because everything around him is turning evil. And you learn why later on in the game, but it's a really cool way to introduce the next game is the fact that you're hunting down and you're following the previous hero, which is now something's wrong with him and evil is coming out everywhere, wherever he's going. And he's always traveling east. Really cool. I would say that understanding that in a game feels really fun and really cool that you are fighting yourself from a previous game.
Yeah.
I don't know if too many games have done that. And so I could say that that's probably one of my favorite Diablo 2. I don't know if you'd call it a moment, but it's a really fun lore thing to get you invested into killing yourself.
Yes, Psychotic, great question. Thank you very much for writing in. Just to recap, because Rose City Gamer brought up, for anybody wondering as we're talking about it, what are the critics saying about Diablo 2? Game Informer gave it an 8.75 out of 10. Destructoid, 8.5 out of 10. NME gave it a 4 out of 5. God is Geek gave it an 8 out of 10. And Dexerto gave it a 7 out of 10, which shout out to listener of the show, Lloyd Combs, who is actually the new editor for
cool.
Dexerto.
Oh, right.
So very cool. He actually wrote when we used to have a blog on here on the XoneBros. That's where he got his start. That's what I'm going to always say.
Oh, hey!
That's where he got his start.
Started with us.
But yeah, there you go. So pretty positive reviews on Diablo 2 all the way around. And that does it. We talked a little bit about or last week, we talked a little bit about the rumors that Xbox is going to be purchasing something. And before we get out of here today, I do want to bring back up that rumor because the consensus seems to be consolidating. Granted, remember, what I'm about to say is just a rumor and pure speculation, but I think it's fun to talk about, so I'm going to talk about it.
Go for it, man.
It's like gossiping. Gossiping, you shouldn't do it, but it's fun.
But it's fun.
Sometimes it's fun to indulge.
Drama is fun as long as it doesn't involve yourself.
Well, it depends on the drama.
Although some people like to be involved in drama.
Actually, you're right. I hate drama. I hate it.
No, I like to hear about drama, but I don't want to be in it. It seems to be consolidating around Take-Two. Microsoft, Take-Two
would be massive.
Jordan, why would it be massive?
Because Take-Two owns Rockstar.
Oh! And Gearbox.
I believe, I'm double checking, I believe they own Gearbox as well.
Do they own 2K?
They do own 2K.
Yeah, so we'd also get basketball.
What is the net worth? What is the net worth of... Okay, I'm going to look that up. Let me look that up.
They might not own Gearbox.
Oh, okay.
I thought they did, though. Hold on.
I thought they did too.
Regardless.
Yeah. So let's pretend for a moment that is indeed a possibility. I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, anything's a possibility.
The market is saying that they are worth $17 billion.
Okay.
$17.5 billion, give or take.
One of the comments in our last podcast was that Microsoft has cash on hand $130 billion.
That's just cash.
That's cash.
That's just like,
yeah.
Let's get some sushi and buy Take-Two.
Or at least that's what the speculation is, 130 million. Or billion. Yeah, that's a lot. So why not go?
I guess, yeah, why not? I mean, hey.
Okay, so
here we go.
They don't own Gearbox, but they have a long-standing relationship with Gearbox.
Yeah, so here is Take-Two's...
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I don't own you, but I have a long-standing relationship with you too.
Here is Take-Two's subsidiaries. 2K, so we get basketball.
And what isn't there another one?
What else?
Doesn't 2K have another one? They have basketball.
I think they have.
Oh,
several.
didn't 2K just buy Golf Club? Isn't that what it was?
Yeah, that's right. Golf.
2K
Spice
Golf
is looking
Club.
it up.
I'm pulling it up, guys. One sec.
BioShock.
There we go.
BioShock is 2K.
They own the IP by
Civilization, Mafia, NBA, PGA Tour. They have
because they do
WWE, baby. If you know what I'm saying,
baby.
And XCOM. They do own XCOM too, amongst others. So
we
that's
get
right.
those.
They do because they publish the Fire Access games, which are
that's a big one.
Then we get the big
is
one.
Rockstar on there?
Yeah, the big one.
Well, I'm just looking at 2K. So
Right here. The big one is Rockstar that we'd get. Can you imagine?
Yeah, because subsidiaries.
Can you imagine?
Right?
Grand Theft Auto 6 exclusive to Game Pass and
Do you know
PC.
how many people would be pissed?
Yeah, that would.
We thought Bethesda shook the world.
Grand Theft Auto.
But because put this in perspective, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out at the last year of the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3.
And it's re-releasing next year on the new console.
And it is
March.
the number one game month over month, top 5 since then because of Grand Theft Auto Online. That's huge. Reactor League says the release date of Grand Theft Auto 6 would be 2032. That's probably. Although no, they actually did say they're looking at shorter development times, and it's specifically with Grand Theft Auto 6. You'll start in an area, and then content and areas will be added after the fact. If anyone can do it, Rockstar can do it. No, wait, Rockstar can do it.
Let me give you those 2 words.
Okay, give it to me.
Post-launch.
I don't have a problem with that.
Well, it's because you never played Final Fantasy VII.
yeah, they're there. Yeah, that's actually a perfect
but an open world.
Oh,
how are they gonna do it? The world's just gonna end?
Yeah.
No. They'll just
be a flat earther.
They'll have what they have right now. You have the world of Grand Theft Auto 5, for instance. But just think if instead of a 6, it's going to be like the Halo Infinite idea or whatever. This is perpetual. So now we're just getting. Oh, now if you drive down this, now we have added this city into the game and this city into the game, and those are like.
Yeah, that sucks.
Content that's getting added.
That sucks.
No, I love it.
But here's the thing: is it as content filled as Grand Theft Auto 5, or are they pulling some of that back to put it in post launch?
I'm with Jordan on this one.
I know
David.
you have to talk
Your
to
opinion
those
is
guys.
wrong.
You'd have to talk to those guys. I don't know. I don't know.
No, that's can you that is crazy. If they look, I'm still of the opinion that I don't think it's real and I don't think it's going to happen because
talk about that.
again, we didn't know anything about Bethesda. Now all of a sudden the internet knows everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Well-
that's just how in my opinion.
Well, but maybe
This is my
Bethesda's got a lockdown on the leaks.
Yeah, maybe.
Rockstar does.
fires you if you.
Yeah,
leak.
Rockstar does, but does 2K?
Yeah, that's
the
Rockstar's
question.
gonna fire 2K.
I'm always seeing leaks about 2K stuff.
Yeah, but I agree. If they bought 2K, that would be
No, Take-Two.
Take-Two. Sorry, if they bought Take-Two,
2K2
yeah,
as well.
If they bought
Take 2 2K.
yeah, if they bought
Hey,
Take-Two, just Grand Theft Auto alone, because again,
But then look
you're
what
not
other
gonna
IPs are
spend.
getting.
You're not gonna spend. What is this? Let's just say they spend what they're worth, which they probably wouldn't. $17 billion. You're not spending $17 billion to share your toys, like we said with the Bethesda.
You're
thing.
removing huge third-party titles like NBA 2K. NBA 2K is the basketball game. Third party. Then you take away the future Grand Theft Auto.
I think that purchase, just because of Grand Theft Auto alone, would have a bigger, divisive.
Would have a Bioshock.
Yeah. Well, and BioShock. Microsoft can revive the BioShock series
Yep.
if they wanted to.
They own that IP if they pull that trigger.
Because there was a lot of people that were really like, haha, we have Bethesda now, and there was a lot of people that were like, this is stupid, we hate it. I think
Well,
that
they
would
were.
be-
I think they were in shock for like 2 months.
I think because
Well,
of
I saw an article as recently as like 3 weeks ago that said, everyone, to clarify, you're not getting... it's not coming to PlayStation. So there's still denial.
I will say this. Microsoft did kind of beat around the bush. I don't know if they were just trying to be nice. They did kind of beat around the bush, so I get like the...
Well, no, remember what happened is one of the developers for one of the games said, we make our games for everybody. That's our focus.
Well, I think it was Todd Howard. Like, we put our games everywhere, but I think in retrospect he was talking about Game Pass.
Yeah.
Cloud and stuff like that.
Yeah, it wasn't a hint.
Sometimes...
It wasn't cryptic.
Sometimes I think you need the... you need the PR statements or else, bad stuff happens.
Well, not with Rockstar.
Well,
they don't say a word.
They don't give anything.
That's the other thing.
That's the other thing.
You just
either,
don't make a statement.
Yeah. I do think
not
you
making
need,
a statement is a statement.
Yeah.
I do think you need the PR statements or else you run into issues with certain employees. But I also think sometimes like Microsoft should have came out a little bit sooner saying like, guys, it's exclusive to Game Pass. Done.
Yeah. Well, they're still probably working through some deals there.
Yeah.
Hashtag
I'll tell
rip
you who.
Sony. That's
I'll tell you who
what
could take
one
a-
of the Microsoft.
I'll tell you who
pages
could take
said.
a book out of Rockstar's page, and that's Blizzard. Just don't say anything and fire anyone that goes on Twitter and starts bashing repeatedly streamers who have left for Final Fantasy. Like, you're never going to get out from underneath your own. You keep stepping on yourself.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
blanket. Hey, listen to me. Everybody, here we go. Here's our company motto. You can be on Twitter and you can have your own opinions. But if you say anything about the game or the company you work for and other people
related to such
game,
you're fired.
Your ass is gone.
Yeah.
Because
And some people, and that includes in your, did you say in your bio?
in your bio,
Because
yeah.
the only reason you're putting that in your bio, like work at Blizzard, is to get the clout of working at Blizzard,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, that's
Yeah, just put a blanket. Holy, for God's sake, people.
Just shut up, man.
Yeah, every week I'm going to get a video from Asmongold saying, and other content creators saying, such and such developer from Blizzard said this about Asmongold or whoever.
Yeah,
And it's like,
whether-
yeah, everyone's going to make that video every day of the week because guess what it gets? A lot of clicks.
And let's-
it makes you look bad.
the thing is look, let's say at Blizzard, like the developer, whether you like Asmongold or don't. The thing is who cares? He was the biggest World of Warcraft streamer,
Yeah.
promoting your game every day. Who cares if you don't like him?
Yeah, if you don't like him,
He funneled people to your product,
yeah.
and then you raped those people, and they went to a different.
Well, but it has
product.
nothing to do with liking him or not liking him. Just shut up.
Yeah.
Not yet. Well, a great piece of advice. You don't have to have an opinion on everything.
Yeah.
That is. But anyways, I digress. I digress. Rockstar would be huge. How about Blizzard? What if it was Blizzard? Well, you made
their stocks are at a good
you made
spot right now.
You made a funny observation in Discord, Spicy, earlier this week about Mike Ibarra just left Microsoft and to be like, welcome back. Maybe they sent him in there to get that job.
Yeah.
To propose, guys.
He was a spy.
He was.
He figured it out. He's
intruded.
the one who.
He was the intruder.
He uncovered
was the mole.
everything.
And then he's in there right now pitching like, guys, I think we should just sell to Microsoft. Yeah. They could fix all of this.
Mike Ibarra left Microsoft a year and a half ago or so, and now he's the co-head of Blizzard. Yeah. And now he's maybe he was the
Microsoft plays the long game, baby. Yeah. Xbox plays the long game.
Yeah. They didn't Microsoft isn't winning by domination.
He was the Xbox sleeper cell.
It's the spy win.
They just activated him.
It's this. What's the in Civilization the spy win? I've never been able to do that.
Yeah, I don't think in Civilization you actually can
win with spies. No, that's right. You steal technology. That's right. Well, that's what Mike's doing. If in fact that would be really funny, the irony of him going to Blizzard and then 2 years later he's back at Microsoft. That's pretty good.
On our
we
screen.
Love Mike, by the way. He's one of our friends.
He was very kind to us. So. Shout out to Mikey Barr. And I think he's actually one of the shining stars over at Blizzard that is really
having a tough week.
Good like outward facing face for Blizzard at the moment where he's just playing games and streamers and stuff are like, yes, look, a Blizzard person that actually plays their game.
I know, and he's plays pretty good.
At a high level.
So a high level, wow. That actually does us with game talk this week. Guys, you want to know what I did as we're getting out of here this week? I saw on Twitter this game developer talked about, I went back to Blu-ray, guys. It's superior. And I was like, is it? He said streaming 4K. It's compressed. It's not as good. So I did it this week. I watched the movies, and it is, and I did direct comparison. I'm sold.
Depends.
For movies that I really want, I'm back on Blu-ray, baby.
Depends. I'll have a discussion with you after. How's that?
Post show. Join us.
Hey, join us for the post show, everybody.
It's coming up right now. Right now. Everybody else, if you're listening in your car, we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
This is the longest we've been. Here.
I know.
Yeah, this is kind of fun.
We can just talk through this
whole thing. It's a little hypey. Woo! Hypey. Woo! Everybody have a great week. Bye bye.